10 seconds.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the View from the Dev Box. We are 1 week out from the CPSL. This weekend
Fayetteville
was a fucking shit show.
Oh my god! It was. We didn't think it was going to be a shit show. It shouldn't have been, but it was a shit show because of the weather, and it wasn't. Everyone that played with us will understand, but it wasn't the heaviest rain we've played in. But I think it rained. It rained for like probably 12 hours before we got to the field, and then it rained literally like not a drizzle, but not a torrential downpour, just like a steady rain all the way until probably 3 o'clock, and we ended at 2 probably. I mean, there was a few times of
because towards
pausing.
the end it like stopped and the sun was coming out. So shitty.
I know, and then we ended up still playing a decent day for what it was.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out because we told everybody like 8:30 or 8 actually. For us it was 8, right?
Yep.
And we were gonna set the other layout up, but the rain was not having it, and so we pushed it to 9 because the KMA guys were gonna show up around 9:30. So I'm like, all right, we'll get there 30 minutes prior, get the field pumped up. We'll get there and it's raining harder and harder, and then it slows down at like 9:45. I'm like, so we asked the KMA guys, we're like, hey, you guys drove like 2 hours. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? I don't want to turn anybody around because I had Seth came from Charleston, Kyle came from Augusta, so we had people drive in as well, not just them. And I'm like, damn, dude, I don't want to turn you guys away, but I understand some people might not want to play in the rain. It's not for everybody.
And they went back and forth. It wasn't an immediate yes.
Yeah, I'm always gonna leave it up. And Jamie and Jamie, I guess they asked him, well, what do you guys want to do? You guys drove the furthest and you have the majority of the people, that traveled. What do you want to do? And I think they're kind of, I'll be honest, listen to Jamie said it. I believe the players wanted to leave. The players did not want to play in it. But I think how Jamie explained it to me is the coach, they assumed that if they didn't play, the coach is going to get on their ass, which is probably to be expected. You know what I mean? But it's kind of a gray area just with the weather. I understand. We did have a couple guns, not ours, but Ken's gun, which is my old one, went down the week after the MVPS when that torrential downpour happened. They played in it. And it's not very common that water messes the guns up because they're kind of meant for it. Not meant to like sink and like pick them back up, but they're decent for water resistant, but it's kind of sounded like, listen to Jamie and them talk, that the players didn't want to play. Like they wanted to go home because they didn't want to get their shit out and which sucks. The weather sucks, right? And you're in it, and thank God the paint was good. I'll say that.
Yeah, it was hard as a motherfucker, but it was straight as shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my whole thing, like, it wouldn't have been that bad if, like, obviously we don't have a covered staging area. I mean, and granted, we whipped out some fucking pop-up tents.
We had, 5 tents out there? So
4 or 5 pop-up tents. It helped a lot, but it's like, by the time, people that haven't been to Hoppers, it's kind of like, you almost like stage in the middle, and then your air is on one end, your air and paint, and then the field is on the other end. You're kind of like between them.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you go play a game or two, you know what I mean? And then like by the time you shoot 5-6 pods, you're like, okay, well, I need paint and air. So you got to go get paint. So you're walking through this rain, and then you're walking back, you're potting up, and you're walking back. And that's the shitty part. Like, it's not actually, to me, it's not actually the playing. And like, I feel like obviously at an event, I don't know, everyone would be down to play 1,000%.
But it seemed like we got out there and it's not stopped, but it went very, very, very small. We got there towards about the middle of the day.
Yeah.
About an hour into it of playing wise. We're like, dude, I told Jamie, I'm like, dude, I can live in this. Like, this is not bad. We've played in way worse conditions practicing, when A43 came down, the day was great. And then it was like, hey, what's up? Boom, rain. And it was like torrential downpour midpoint. And then it had like torrential downpour, like 2 or 3 points. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. So,
I mean, how many games do you think we still played? Probably close to 10.
8 to 10. Yeah, probably.
I mean, it was enough for me to shoot a full case of paint. Like I had one pod at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
probably about 8 or so.
yeah.
And Shane kept asking me, he's like, how much are you gonna play with us? Because I play with Courtney's line a little bit. And he's like, well, how much are you gonna play with us? And I'm like, well, Kyle was in town.
Yeah.
And since we weren't turning a bunch of points, I wanted to make sure Kyle got as many spins as he could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when I play, somebody has to sit, right?
Yeah.
Typically I'm on every single point in the event anyways. But if somebody travels 2 hours and we're only gonna get a limited amount of points in, I want to get the guys who traveled in, only for that reason that I want to they need reps. I'm not saying I don't need reps, but they have traveled to play. And since if it's a normal day and we're playing 20 points with everybody combined, then that's fine. I'll jump in every single point and we can just mix guys in. But I was telling Shane, I'm like, wait, these guys need to get spins in. Like Frank if Frank's out there, Frank play with every single line. He played with her line, play with the KMA guys like twice. He played with our line like all day. He played like a couple 4-on-4s. He played which he needed it. He hasn't played in like 3 or 4 weeks. So
now is he playing with us this weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I was kind of sketched to bring him in only for the reason he hasn't played in probably 2 months, maybe. Yeah, maybe 2 months or more actually. So I was actually kind of worried about bringing him in just because he hasn't practiced a whole bunch. But we needed some snake side guys.
He played great yesterday.
Yeah. So, and it was funny because you had a better eye. I was behind Baxter on the point.
Yeah.
He played in front of Baxter. So you heard more, and I'll let you tell that
more
of the story than I did. Because I was up on the hill listening, and I was kind of honestly, I'm still trying Baxter out to see where he fits on the field the most. Yeah. And I want to make him the 2 on the snake side is kind of where I want to put him for her line. And so I said, for the point, I'm like, hey man, how do you feel playing the 2 on the snake side? And he's like, I think I'm pretty good. I feel good. I'm like, you're 100% comfortable over there? He's like, yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm like, all right, cool. So that's where I put him, and I'll let you tell this part because you were down the field right next to Frank.
I was ref, so I'm staying at about the 50-yard line, and we're playing the old SPL layout, the most recent SPL layout, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're March 2021. But so Frank, he's down at probably the S2 or the S3. I don't exactly remember where, but what is it? It's probably a 2-on-4, just the 2 of them at this point. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's 2 people on snake side, and the other team has good field position. And Frank, he's like calling. I don't remember the name he was using, but so obviously Baxter was behind him. He wasn't calling Baxter. I mean, he was just calling like John, help me, John, like John, watch my tape. John, look inside. John, watch my tape. Where are they at, John? Where are they at, John? Like he's just fucking doing it. And Baxter obviously isn't hearing his name, so Baxter's doing his thing, fucking shooting people. Like shoots one dude like comes to stick Frank. He fucking shoots him. He shoots another guy cross field somewhere. I think then he shoots the corner guy, and then like another dude comes to like stick Frank, and then Frank gets up afterwards and he looks at me. He goes, "He killed everybody, but what's wrong? Like, why didn't he respond to me?" I was like, "Well, what did you call him?" He goes, "I called him John." I was like, "Well, his name's Baxter. That's probably why he wasn't fucking helping you, Frank." I was like, he goes, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I mean, you played it fine too. Like, I mean, you didn't play it bad, Frank. You just didn't know the dude's name." So
I think at this point, he was like, Frank's like, "Is he gonna help me?"
Yeah.
But Frank doesn't see what I see because I'm behind Baxter, and Baxter is on the snake corner, like shooting, rapping, and he's maintaining 4 people while Frank's head's buried in the snake. So Frank's got no clue what's going on. He's just shooting like one guy every now and then, and Baxter's keeping like 4 guys off Frank's ass, and they keep coming to get Frank, and Baxter's just like saving him every time. Saving him. Yeah.
It was a great. I mean, and Frank didn't play it bad either. You know what I mean? Frank was playing it. I mean, he's been in the snake the whole time, and he's in a good like S2, maybe S3. Close to the 50 snake. So he's right where he needs to be. And it was literally like he'd look one way, dude would come try to get him from one way, and Baxter would lean out, like rap on someone, hose that guy. Oh, shoot over the top of bunker, hose that guy. And I'm like, okay, John, you're doing it up. Let's go.
Yeah, get him, John.
Get him, John. I don't remember what name he was calling him, but it wasn't Baxter. That's all that mattered. So I was like, yeah, Frank, that's why he wasn't helping you. He was like, oh shit, and he just kind of like walked off, and I'm like, yeah, that'll do
Frank
it. Frank
should know of all people who like about communication, because unless you deliberately like look at Frank and yell Frank, he will not listen to you.
Yeah.
Like he zones out. So you can be like, you could be in a snake and be like, snake 2, high side, highway, and he just zones out. But if you directly call Frank's name, then he'll turn around and look right at you. Like he understands his name. He's like a dog. You know what I mean? It's like, don't get that, don't pick up that, no. And it's like, Max. You're like, don't eat the chicken, run away. And the dog's like, okay. It's like the same thing.
We love you, Frank.
But Frank will, if you do not acknowledge or call his name, good luck.
Yeah.
I've been, and I don't know, I can't even say that because there's videos of me, I think in the SPL or CPSL, and I am like, or MVPS, and I'm like, you hear me just screaming, and I'm like, and he is just zoned up. And not like he's rolling his gun. He's chilling the snake, and I am screaming, Frank. And I can hear, and they're recording, but they're on the opposite side of the field, and you can hear me screaming Frank. And I'm like, this motherfucker is deaf. He cannot hear me right now. And then everybody's like, and I walk up, I'm like, you guys hear me? They're like, oh yeah, we heard you. I'm like, everyone in the pit's like, yeah, no, we heard you for sure. I'm like, Frank, did you hear me? Hear you what? Huh? Man, I've been yelling for fucking 10 minutes. What are you talking about?
That's my least favorite thing. Like, obviously, I play in the back and more in the center. When I'm like relaying stuff cross field, and I scream relatively loud, but then so like everyone will hear me but one person. Like, I didn't hear you. I'm like, well, the other fucking 3 guys did. So I'm like, I can't help you there, dude. Like, I screamed fucking 50 snake for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
you didn't hear it. That's why he blew you up. Everybody else knew he was there and stayed alive. That's all. I don't know. I feel like there's 2 times yesterday I think I was playing the alpha, what we call the alpha. And I don't know. I think I had Jamie and Shane on the Dorito side with me. So like I think I heard Shane get out and then so I'm playing. And I got like looking snake side and I'm like, Jamie? I'm like, don't hear anything. I'm like, fuck. Jamie? I'm like, fuck. And I looked at it and I'm like, fuck, damn it, he's dead. Like that's my least like favorite thing. Like I haven't heard I haven't heard a teammate gunshot over here. And then I hear my snake guy say there's someone in like 50 Doritos side, and I'm like, I had a guy on my Doritos side, but now he's not talking to me. I do like the little shoulder peek. I'm like, that motherfucker's dead. I'm like, that sucks. But it was thanks for KMA for coming out though. Like, I mean,
been grinding it out in this shitty weather.
Yeah, it was definitely shitty. So did you hear that Marcus Nielsen died?
Marcus the Carcass.
God dang, I can't believe you said that. That is fucking rough.
No, that's like his legit name.
Is that what they called him? I thought you were being an asshole.
I didn't think about that.
I thought you were being a dick.
No, they called him Marcus the Carcass. That was his name. God damn it.
I was like, I can't believe he just said that.
No, yeah.
We'll leave all this in because that is. Excuse us while we recuperate from that.
Marcus the Carcass Nielsen is his name. He actually used to play with Avalanche forever, or Avalanche. Aftershock a long time ago. And actually played with Dynasty for a little bit too, I believe. If I'm not thinking so.
I think he played with a couple different teams.
Yeah.
I mean, he was around for a hot minute.
Oh yeah. Straight squeegee days. Those days.
I think it was a car wreck, which that kind of sucks. So we lost Tim Montresor last year. We lost him this year.
Well, you see the new I shared the chat, the new Lux coming out.
Yeah.
They're gonna name it after him, which is dope as shit.
Yeah, when do you think they're gonna release that?
Probably paintball extravaganza. Is that still a thing?
I think so. Yeah, I would. I mean, I think they did it last year. I could probably Google that one.
I mean, my thing is like, I thought it was always before the season started, and technically the NXL has already started. I always thought it was the beginning of every season. So maybe with the COVID stuff, maybe it's not a thing.
Yeah, let's see.
Because technically,
the last one they had was February 2020. So, and it doesn't have.
So it should have been before the season started if they were gonna have it. Yeah, so maybe the next NXL event, Kissimmee, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm not sure when they're looking at now. We have a couple of insiders on the DLX side, obviously, with knowing some of those guys and listening to them. But to my understanding, the gun is going to be just like the adrenaline,
Okay.
but it won't have an option. I mean, you can probably upgrade later on or get one separate, but the adrenaline is going to have the mech frame with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference from what I've been told, allegedly, quote
Yeah.
unquote, it's the coating on the bolt will be different. So I've heard that the milling on the inside of the gun is waddled out more. So what they're doing is doing more volume inside of
Mm-hmm.
the chamber with the bolt system, and it's going to be off similar. I don't want to say similar to, but an X platform. So all the technology the X has in it, with obviously revamps, I'd imagine in certain areas.
Yeah.
But when I spoke to the adrenaline guy at Cup, he says their adrenaline months ago prior to that shot so soft that Moorhead made them put shot recoil back into the gun. He said the gun felt dead. Like
Yeah.
he said, a lot of people wouldn't like that. Now I am the exact opposite. I want the gun to feel dead. Like, but I know what he means.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to shoot it and the gun not move, not kick, not like make a pop, be dead quiet. That's what I loved about the traditional Luxes. And he said their operating pressure on those guns were like 95.
Holy cow.
Yeah, they were
That's
under triple
impressive.
digit. Yes. So I was talking to him about it, and he said what they're doing is it's going to be the same bolt the new Lux has coming out. It's so they are basically doing it first, but they're using a very expensive, technologically advanced coating. They're going to coat this bolt with adrenaline is because their guns actually are arriving this week. If you've seen some
Yeah.
guys posting them up, um, it's some super ultra like slick compound that they're going to coat the bolt in.
That's cool.
And it's going to be almost to the point where you can run like greaseless is how slippery it is.
Oh, that'll be sweet.
They were showing you, did you see the video, which is fucking badass? They put the bolt in a can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just by itself, and set the can down on the table. And you guys listening, it's gonna be hard to explain, but imagine your can is sitting up in the air, right? And your bolt, you pull the bolt to full extension, like it'd be cycling, and they were stacking batteries on top of the bolt, and they stacked like 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just say 8. I don't know, 8 batteries, and the bolt said shook, slid down. Well, then they grabbed the other bolt and sat it on top with the can, and then pulled the bolt out, and then it sat like 3 batteries on the bolt, like 1, 2, 3, and the bolt said sook, went down.
Oh, that's neat. I see what you're saying.
Showing you how much more slick the bolt system is, and that's what's going to be coated in. So by that, they're getting a lot less resistance in the bolt system, so less drag, which means you could the gun would shoot hotter. Like, let's say your Lux shot, and we've seen this, right? We've seen every single Lux shot a little bit different. Yeah. Like your gun and my gun was very low. Jamie's was a little bit higher. What you call is even higher. But anyways, we all like the operating temperature should be the operating pressure in the X's should be like 120 to 125.
Yeah.
If you get any lower than 120, your gun is very smooth and it's shooting very good. Mine and yours were in that 115 range.
Yeah, we were
getting hot.
That's the best shooting gun I've ever owned. And I'm not a Lux fanboy, but that Lux X, I kind of wish I wouldn't have got rid of it. But
yeah, but you've seen the difference in that. Well, that's what they're doing. So they're getting the same chrono speed, but at like 95.
That's
pressure.
Crazy.
So that means like less brakes. Not that they break a lot of paint, but less brakes, quieter, smoother. They're getting all that out of the same bolt system. And to my understanding, they're opening the chamber up in the gun. They're milling it deeper or wider, so they're getting more air volume in the chamber, and then making the bolt like ridiculously slick. So they said Lux won't be as low as them because Lux is going to go back to the ice coating on the original ice bolts and then coat that bolt in that. It's still going to be slippery, but they said that adrenaline guy kind of made a comment. He's like, well, DLX didn't want to invest in our coating. It's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the guns, you've seen the price of the
adrenalines.
So, which is, I know Coven, I think, bought a adrenaline and then.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah. And somebody else bought adrenaline. So when they come in, I want to shoot one. If they're dead, like they ridiculously smooth, like I'm jumping ship.
Oh I'm sure.
My ice going right to it, like, so I'm just holding that ice, beating the piss out of it until something new comes along. Because I heard the new CS platform is coming very soon, to my understanding as well.
I like that Geo4 still. I think I could shoot one of those.
Oh yeah,
full time.
I would need to just play with it more.
Yeah.
Like I told Jamie when he held it for like 10 seconds, shot it, and then he was sold, done. Gone.
Yeah.
He knew, and those things are buttery smooth. And I could definitely, I love the shot of the Geo4. That's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
You had in the back of your head. You're like, man, this just doesn't. It's not a high end gun to me, and you know
Yeah.
it is, but it's not their like flagship gun. And I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Because
But
I very much like I shot Gordon's once or twice, and I don't think I've shot Jamie's yet, but I probably need to just out of curiosity because I could
yeah,
totally.
but his is definitely it's broken in now. It's broken
Yeah.
in when I got it to him. It's definitely broken in now even more, and it's just crazy smooth and quiet.
Yeah.
The shot on it is beautiful. I love the shot, but I had a hard time. You love those guns,
Yep.
that Ergo. You love them. I was struggling with the ergonomics on the gun personally.
Yeah.
So I
See,
went back to
that's what I had for years. I mean, I shot Geo 1, Geo Plus,
yeah.
Geo
So
2, Geo
you
2.5. I've
honestly
had them
might need
all.
to you might need to just go back into and just pick one up.
And the only two Luxes I've ever had, I had a 1.0, and then I had an OLED for a short period of time, and then that X, and then
Yeah.
now this Force. I mean, I've had more guns of that, but out of my big three,
Could the Force be on its way out?
it could be. Someone was looking for one a couple weeks ago, and I did send the dude. I messaged him. We went back and forth, and I didn't have any paint, and he wanted a shooting video. And I told him, I was like, okay, well, I don't have paint in air. It'll be the end of the week, whatever. And I messaged him like towards the end of the week saying, hey, I'm playing tomorrow. Do you still want it? He was like, yeah. And then I messaged him a bunch, and he was like, didn't answer me anymore. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna make a shooting video if you don't want the fucking gun. Like,
He probably found one.
yeah. And I was like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me, but
Yeah.
he was gonna give me what I wanted, so I was like, okay, well, I could sell this thing, and like I said, I could pick up a Geo4 for probably $1,000. I don't really know what they go for.
Yeah.
1100 maybe. I really don't know what they go for.
Depends what if you want it with an extra barrel back and the
Yeah.
trigger. 1100 is about average.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I might. Like I said,
But
I could get that gun
1100.
and poof, be good, but
Yeah, I think you would like. You need to shoot Jamie's this weekend and just see what you like about it.
yeah, I might have to steal from him for a point in the tournament. You know, no big deal.
Oh yeah. So what was I gonna say? I had something else I wanted to touch on. Do you have something?
I do, but this it's kind of a weird topic, and I obviously we don't bring it. I don't know how well you'll do with it, because it's paintball, obviously, but it's not paintball. I almost feel like you need to study for it, and we don't do that. That's not something we do.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know a lot about it either. I only have
just give me the topic and I'll tell you if I can touch on it, and then if not, then we'll go do some research on it before I talk out of my ass.
What big celebrities I say big? That could be subjective. What, like, I don't even want to use the word famous people, but famous-ish people do you know that play paintball? That play like regularly, or who have made known teams? Do you know of any?
Yeah, a few actually.
Okay.
Well, Cypress Hill.
Yes.
Like the old band back in the day used to be the Stoned Assassins.
Yes.
Right?
See, I learned that today. And that was
really?
basic. Yes. Okay.
They used to leave concerts high as fuck, obviously.
Yes.
And then fly into the tournaments that same night.
Yes, I didn't know that.
What?
No, I had no fucking idea. That was basically my topic.
Yeah. Cypress Hill was mainly all on the Stoned Assassins, and they would have a tournament. They would have a concert, like, let's say, I don't know, Thursday night.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, Nebraska, and then they would get on a flight that night directly after the concert, their private jet, and then fly into like the NPL in like California, and then just get right off and be like, okay, let's go play.
See, I saw, this is how I came about this question topic thing, and that's really the biggest one I could think of, or I found out about.
Well, King Griffey Jr. used to play.
Yeah, he was another one.
A lot.
But like I forget exactly what it was today. I took a screenshot of it, but my phone's about dead.
2 years ago at Cup, or no, a couple years ago, Cup, Waka Flocka was
Waka Flocka was there. Yeah,
and he had his whole crew.
What's the guy that plays? He's New Orleans Saints.
Oh, yeah. I just seen him playing. Alvin Kamara.
Yes, he plays quite a bit too. But how I came about this was I was scrolling through Facebook, and one of the topics, someone had the picture of William Shatner, and I guess because today's his birthday, or yesterday was his birthday.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, he had the big event.
That big event, and someone was talking about that, and like I have that DVD somewhere back in the day. Like when I first started playing, somebody bought me that.
Oh, well, before I forget, the Maurice and Barry Gibb Gibbs, maybe Gibbs.
Yep, you're right again. Maurice,
yeah.
that's the other person I had on my list.
Well, I'm shitting on you right now.
I know, you're doing a lot better than I thought. I'm kind of impressed.
Actually, the brothers from the old band, the Bee Gees.
Bee Gees, yep.
They were actually big people into the Angel development, like back then, and they shot the original Angels, like old LCDs and old LED, like single trigger guns. That whole what was that team?
I don't remember. I was looking at it today at work.
I'm trying to think of that team that they played with. They played pro though.
Yes.
Maurice and Barry Gibb. You know, Maurice and Barry, one of them just died. Like
Maurice died. They were the Royal Rat Rangers. Is the name of the.
I thought they played with somebody else. They played somebody.
They might have. This was the 10-man team. They played out of South Florida. Let's see. They have a World Cup appearance. A placing is what it says. It doesn't say what place. They placed 2002 World Cup 10-man. But yeah. So like I said, I saw that, and then like. What did I type? I don't remember exactly what I typed, but then I found that Joe Rogan interview with Be Real from the Cypress Hill, and I listened to like just that little section of it, and I was like, I had no idea. Like obviously when he said Stoned Assassin, I was like, oh, he played on like a real team, like a high end division. Like, I don't think they were pro, but they were like semi-pro.
I'm pretty sure they were pro.
Were they pro? Well, that's what he was saying. He was like practicing literally 5 to 6 days a week. And he said we were like one of the first teams that actually had like a legitimate like.
Well, yeah, they had fucking money.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought. I was like, it's like if they would have like obviously not been singing and stuff like and had the time, they probably like more time than what they did. They probably would have been even better. You know what I mean? Like
I just seen somebody just the other day. It was pretty sure it was a rapper. Fuck. Maybe it was Lil Baby or I think it might have been Lil Baby. One of those rappers, like the Baby maybe or Lil Baby. One of them was just on the paintball page the other day. Somebody took a picture of him, and he bought like a brand new like CS2 out of this at the field. They're playing like a rec ball, and he bought a whole brand new setup out of the pro shop, obviously, and then either gave it to one of the refs that were like reffing them.
Oh, that's cool.
Or bought the kid the same exact setup that was inside the pro shop too.
That's badass.
Which is obviously ancient to him, but I thought I just seen it just the other day because that was a question. This is like a month ago. I always say the other day, but a month ago, somebody said, "Have you guys ever had anybody famous come to your field before?" And he said, "This is what I had walk in today at the field," and it was either a Lil Baby or one of them, and it was like the guy was holding a brand new. You could tell it was a brand new setup, right?
Yeah.
And then he said he thankful for everything. He either he gave it to him. Or
bought him his own. Either way, that's badass.
But that could be something that he bought it, played with it all day. I was like, all right, here you go, man. I'm not gonna need it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool when people do shit like that.
Next year when I play it, I'll buy a whole other setup.
Yeah, and I'll give it to the next ref too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that, and I was just I had never heard of, other than like you said, King Gifford Jr., the Be Real, William Shatner, and then someone else was saying that Will Smith used to play a lot, which he would be the biggest. But they said he was doing that when he was practicing for iRobot. They said that they were bringing them all out there so they could actually shoot stuff. I don't know how true that is.
Keanu Reeves played a little bit when he was doing John Wick originally.
Yeah.
But then he went full-fledged Terran Tactical.
Yes.
Like he went with Terran Tactical.
That video is badass.
Which is insane. Literally insane. You know, and Holly Berry was training with him too.
Yeah.
He was actually really good too.
Yeah.
Watch them shoot. I'm like, but that just shows you all the FUDs out here that like buy this ass, and then a little bit of professional training, and they're like beasts. It's like insane that guys can practice, and it's like paintball though, right?
Yeah.
We see people come out here and don't have the backing behind them or the support, and they're practicing incorrect ways and wrong procedures and stuff, and drills are just awful, and they're like just getting in bad muscle memory. And then kids who are like brand new, young, who like have an amazing field to go to, that have like D3 and up players.
Yeah.
Go, no, like we're not doing that shit. Like this is how you do this. This is how you shoot. This is how you run a gun. This is what you're looking for. And you can watch players go from like D6 to D4 in like a season and be strong in the D4 category.
Yep.
No problem at all. And then go from like D4 to like D3, then D2. Like every single year they're gonna make a jump. It just depends on what training is behind them. That just shows you. Like I can guarantee you Holly Berry is not running around on her off time at fucking steel ranges and shooting steel matches and has no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but probably a month or two of training, and it's like, boom, she's no problem doing like tactical reloads on the run and hitting steel from 25 yards while moving. Like, not a big deal. It's just it's a thing because it is. It really
for
is.
sure.
Just like pointing and clicking, because that's all it is. And it's just muscle memory to aim, point, and click, aim, point, and click. No matter if you're shooting a paintball gun, a Nerf gun, a shotgun, it literally is like it's funny to watch. No matter what you do, I think it all comes down to it's literally just a little bit of training.
Well, yeah, like you said the whole being at a field that has like D3 and up players, because those players have already like learned, you know what I mean? Like they were in a position where they didn't have that person to teach them, and they learned the bad habits, and then had to, not all of them obviously, but they had to unlearn those bad habits. I mean, we have lots of players like that who do lots of things very good, but they do one or two things very poor, and it's like, oh well, no one showed me any other way, and we're like, okay, well, you don't have to do it 100 exactly like I'm telling you to do it, but take what I'm telling you and modify it to fit you. Because my technique, everyone has their own technique, but it comes from a standard base. You know what I mean? Like, this is a good habit. Take that good habit, modify it a little bit, not enough where it becomes a bad habit, but to make it your own, so you have your own style. I don't know. That's, some people will argue. Me and Can have argued with, don't do it like that, and I'm like, well, you can do it like that. You need to just have the basis.
Take everyone's saying and then apply it to you and see
see what works, because there's 10 different ways to do things, and they're all
I'm the exact opposite way. Like, if I see somebody do something wrong, I'm like, whoa, all right, knock that off. Don't do that shit again. Like the other weekend, like 2-3 weeks ago, right before the SPL, Ken went into the snake, and I seen him fucking what you call it, gangster gatting it.
Oh yeah,
with one hand shooting around the snake, and I'm like, as soon as that was done, actually I think I might have corrected midpoint when I was reffing, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, knock that shit the fuck off. I'm like, and as soon as it's done, I'm like, please tell me why you were running to the bunker shooting with one hand, then while you got to the bunker, while you wrapped around the snake too and were trying to shoot across your body with your right hand on the gun only, and then wrapping around the bunker and shooting. I'm like, what are you doing right now? And he's like, well, I had a pretty good shot. I'm like, I could literally stand in the wide open over there. You will not shoot me. I'm like, you can't. And he's like, well, I mean, I'm like, if you would just move to the next bunker and make the angle more, and then put both hands on the gun, lean back out, and guarantee the kill, then we're talking about a confirmed kill, and you're in a better position instead of going to the snake 2, wrapping around it, giving your spot up, because they might not even know you're there, and then shooting them, missing, alerting him telling the whole team where you are. They might pick you up and then pin you in the 2, and you can't get to the 3, and he's like, okay, like I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all about taking your time. Like, you know what I mean? So many, even advanced, or not, I don't want to say advanced. I guess advanced players do that too, where they rush it. And I feel like a lot of times that's where that comes from.
This weekend, you can hear.
Oh, yeah.
If you listen to that video she was recording, Jamie runs down, shoots 2 guys, and he's in the danger, and he goes to their 400, and he gets in, and he comes up, he's like, right, left, right. And I'm like, calm down.
Yeah.
And it slows down. He's like, and then he realizes he's out of paint.
Yeah.
I'm like, calm down. And he's like, puts the gun in, he's like, oh, fuck, I am out of paint. Loads, he's like, okay. I'm like, don't get up there and freak out, because Jamie has been known to like go to a bunker and want to establish dominance so bad that he'll throw his body away by going like left, and he will challenge you until you can't challenge him, and it'd be like, all right, and in his head's like, all right, it's me or you. Like, let's see who gets the ball off better. And I was like that for a long time until I think we
all were.
yeah. And I got to the point where I'm like, I'm in their 400. Like, I don't have to do anything. I can put my gun down and go to sleep right here, and they are not going to do shit about it. They're going to freak out that I'm here. And then I can just have somebody else watch them. I can be like, I'm in 400, and I look back and go, hey, man, you want to help me? Like, I'm up here in the 400. Can you shoot the home on the inside so I can look at the bottom left? Got it? Okay, appreciate it. And then I shoot, and I wait, and I go, hey, man, go ahead and let him go. All right, he's out. Cool. Game over.
You know, my issue is every time I get in a gunfight with somebody, I don't care who it is, I automatically – and this is a good and bad thing, because it gets it gets me killed, it's got other people. I know I'm better than that person. I don't give a fuck who it is in my
Well, you have to
mind.
have that mentality,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like I was like, this guy is not going to shoot me. And obviously, I mean, I've died because I get fucking greedy. Like, and like
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot at him, getting a gunfight. I'm like, nope, his paint's not gonna hit me. And then one ball does, clips my arm pad, clips my mask, or something like that. And I'm like, fuck, I should have went in for a quick second, came out somewhere else and shot the dude in the face. But I'm like, I'm better than you, bitch. I don't give a fuck who
Yeah.
you are. Like,
Yeah.
so, and I know you've done it. We've all done it. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
every time I
100%.
play, I don't care who I'm playing. I'm like, I'm better than everybody on that side of the field. Like, which, like I said, you need to be like that, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's a mindset to have, but I've definitely gotten to the point where I don't throw my body away
Yeah.
anymore. So I get to a spot. If I can't hit it on the first 2 or 3 snapshots, I like stop, calm down, relax, reset,
Yep.
and then address the situation again at that point.
Yeah.
I
I
don't I
try to
don't
give up
wanna
those gunfights now and just like, okay, that's fine. We're shooting each other cross field. I'm just gonna go pick the next bunker and hold the lane. Like, I mean, that's. I feel like it's pussy paintball, but that's what everybody does
Yeah.
now.
Now
So,
I will continue to gunfight like all game.
yeah.
But if it's like 2 bunkers away and we're like, bah, 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 I'm like, okay, calm down. I'm like,
Yeah.
relax, breathe, shoot. Okay, there it is, gone. Okay,
Yep.
got it. And then like just reset. Don't feel like you have to rush
Oh
that shot.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you feel like he has a little better shot on you, pull back, ask for help, like on the security lane, like pick it up so he can't run you down, and then be like, okay, look at somewhere else, and then let him know, hey, I'm gonna come back out. I'm gonna battle this guy. What happened? Come back out and see if you can get dominance back on him again. You know, but definitely, I think mm, a lot of players, D4 and D3, and obviously below, just don't know when to just pull off. Be
Yeah.
like, okay, hold on, let me just fucking chill out for a minute and let's figure out what's going on. You know, I think that's a downfall of a lot of players.
Yeah, it's all about playing the game at your pace. Don't get caught up in their how they want you to play. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
play
because
your game.
some people do that. Some people pressure
Yeah.
you into playing how they want to play you. It's
Yeah.
like a UFC fighter, a real fighter is only as good as his coaches,
Yeah.
right? I mean, some fighters obviously can take everything in their own hands, but you can see a proper fighter will have a real coach who says, we're going to do this. Then we're going to set him up for this. You're going to pressure him here and pressure him here. This is what he's going to do. And then he's going to attack on this. And then
Yeah.
that's what we're waiting for. So they're basically making you either feel secure, or they're pressure youing to like doing something out of the norm.
Yep.
Like you're attacking, and that guy's used to attacking. He's like, well, fuck this, let me attack. And then it ends up not right.
Yep.
So it's definitely in the same way paintball.
Well,
It's like, this team
absolutely.
plays really fast. Like, what can we do to stop them? Well, we can go right at their throats. We can attack them, or we can sit back on our guns and just contain them and don't let them leave.
Yep.
And then they're not used to playing like that. They're used to playing against guys who everybody takes 200 on the break, gets in, crawls up, 300, and they're gun battling, getting the snake 2, 3, run down,
Yep.
boom, trade bodies, load the snake again, trade bodies, load the snake again. That's how they want to play. It's like, okay, well, let's not play that way. Let's play this way.
Yep.
And then see how you can adapt to that. You know what I mean?
And that's what's fun about X Ball.
Yes.
Figuring it out.
Yeah, 5-man, not so much.
Yeah, it's tough to do that in 5-man. I've said this. I don't know if I said it on the podcast. That's where 5-man can almost be more difficult than X Ball. You know what I mean?
One
Like,
small mistake.
One small mistake. Obviously X Ball is the way to go. I do enjoy it more, but I think 5-man can be more difficult of a mind game. You know what I mean? Like you have to play your best paintball every match. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like in X Ball you could play a bad point. Like
Yeah, and go, okay, hold on, reset. That wasn't right.
Yep.
We had a bad breakout.
Yep.
Like cup last year, we went like 0-3 the first 3 points, and everybody's looking at each other like, we got a pretty good team. Like I felt like we should go top 4 in this event. Like we just lost our first 3 games, and we looked around, and I told Rangel, and I'm like, hey, listen, we got to win every single game from here on out.
Yep.
Like there is no more like, get out of jail free card.
Yep.
And it worked. We won everything and went to play for first. But it's like, yeah, 5-man does suck. Now it's better when you get to Sunday and it's races. I do like that. That is kind of cool. If they did that, I think I would almost prefer that. I think agree. you can do that with 6 guys.
Yeah.
I wish that was a thing, like a race to 2 was a thing, like common. Like they got
Yeah,
rid of
yeah,
5-man, and then a race to 2 should be a thing because you can go to 3 points. You know what
yeah.
I mean? First 2 fucking points. You know,
Yep.
but
I agree.
a race to 4, a race to 5 is definitely seeing who the better team is, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but
But
the whole race to 2 thing, I do like. Or maybe like I don't know. I feel like that I don't. Oh, I don't like is mercy rules. I don't like mercy
yes,
rules.
no, I don't either.
And some people are like, dude, mercy rule's good. I would love somebody to legit explain to me how a mercy rule is better than a race to rule. Like, I do not like the CPSL rule is a mercy for. You can potentially play fucking 10. We played in Cup
Yep.
2 years ago. He played like 13 points or 12 points against one team. I'm like,
Yep.
dude, we just shot goddamn 10 cases of paint our first fucking match. You
Yep.
know, this is ridiculous.
I've never liked that. You know what I mean? I'm right there with you because then it's a money grab for the fucking
Yes, that's
tournament.
exactly what it is. Like it should be a race too. If I beat a team 4 points to their 2, it should be over. I shouldn't have to beat them 6-2. You're making us play 8 points against one team.
I can understand when we beat them by you know what I mean, race to 4, but you got to beat them by 1. I can understand something like, you know what I mean. So you got to get 4.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2. I mean, okay, like volleyball, right?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, there's that I can understand.
Win by 2 kind of deal.
Yeah, but I do agree. Even that is really kind of excessive because then it's not a race to, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
race to 4, win by 2.
Yeah,
right? Not mercy 4. Mercy 4 that you'll see a lot of teams this week will play a lot of points and burn timeout.
Yep.
So not only does that make the event run longer, and they go, well, we'll just cut the time down. Well, why are you cutting the time down?
Yeah.
What you're doing, you're like going in a vicious circle. You're cutting the time down, right? But why cut the time down when you can just run a race?
Yeah.
A race to 4. 4-3, match over. 4-1, 4-0, 4-2, match over. It's done. You don't have to go to the whole minute because a lot of matches this weekend are going to go time.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, we're going to cut instead of 12 minutes. We'll cut it to 10 minutes. It's like, okay, but why wouldn't you just run a race?
Yeah.
It'd be the same shit. You wouldn't have to worry about time. Or you do, but it's very rare that, time hits. So
yeah.
Weird. I don't know. I don't like mercy. I think NXL plays mercy.
I believe so.
NXL plays mercy. CPSL plays mercy. But what you call it, MVPS does not play mercy. I don't think theirs is race to 4.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like a race to 4.
Well, we hit everything tonight, huh? What did we talk about? We talked about our weekend with some fucking celebrities. We went on to whatever that fucking topic was. I don't even know what to call that. That was just
why mercy paintball sucks.
Why mercy paintball sucks. That might be the title of this podcast.
Like it.
Why mercy paintball sucks. Well, did you have anything else, good sir? If you had something, I mean, you can save it. We're at about almost 40 minutes probably.
Minutes, yeah.
So that's it, man. All right, well, cool. I will take us out of here. Thanks for listening, watching, doing what you guys do. People like it. Buy merchandise, don't buy merchandise, whatever the fuck. We just enjoy talking about paintball. So we will see you all in the next one.
Later, boys and girls.